While you may enjoy Castlevania content, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. While most ports of Symphony of the Night feature Yuri Lowenthal voicing Alucard, the original version on PS1 featured the voice of Robert Belgrade for the iconic son of Dracula.
Count Dracula is a progenitor of his line of enemies, the Belmonts, in 2 alternate Castlevania timelines, the decanonized Castlevania Legends, and in the Lords of Shadow reboot. In Lords of Shadow, he is the Crusader Knight known as Gabriel Belmont, and in Castlevania Legends, his son Alucard fathers Trevor Belmont with his enemy Sonia Belmont. In the game canon of Castlevania, Dracula's second wife, Lisa, is killed by crucifixion, unlike the burning at the stake in the Netflix animated series. Lisa's death by crucifixion inspires Dracula to implement his horrific method of execution. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for additional Castlevania content.
While you may enjoy Castlevania content, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. The game of Castlevania Legends features Sonia Belmont as the first female leading protagonist in a Castlevania game. While not canonical to the main timeline, she nonetheless remains the first lead female character in the game series, only to have another in the form of Shanoa in Order of Ecclesia.
While Castlevania Symphony of the Night has 4 possible endings, the ending unlocked by exploring at least 196% of the game, in which Maria goes with Alucard, is canon to the game timeline. Castlevania Symphony of the Night has a sequel in radio drama form entitled Castlevania Nocturne of Recollection, talking about the struggles of Alucard, Richter Belmont, and Maria Renard, 1 year after the events of Symphony of the Night. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for additional Castlevania content.
While you may enjoy Castlevania content, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. While Christopher Belmont is not well known, he was the lead character of the early Game Boy Castlevania titles: Castlevania, The Adventure, and Castlevania: Belmont's Revenge for the original Nintendo Game Boy.
In the Castlevania games, the death of Dracula results in the destruction of his castle, as both are intertwined in their existence in our own world.
There is a long absence of characters named Belmont in the Castlevania games during the 19th century. This occurred due to Richter Belmont giving up the family vampire killer whip to the Morris family after his excruciating ordeal of becoming a mind-controlled puppet of Shaft in Symphony of the Night.
Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for additional Castlevania content.
While you may enjoy Castlevania content, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know.
On November 14, 2022, Japanese voice actor Kiyoyuki Yanada passed away. Kiyoyuki Yanada was known for voicing Richter Belmont and Shaft in Japanese dubs of the Castlevania games, and also Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for one last time as the iconic character. Dracula in the Castlevania games is a powerful demon lord, with his own domain in the Chaos Realm or Hell, explaining his various monstrous forms he assumes in various Castlevania games, along with his ability to return from death to our world.
While there has not been an official Castlevania game regarding the events of 1999, in which Alucard and Julius Belmont allied against Dracula to destroy him in the Demon Castle War, 1999 in the real world saw the release of Castlevania 64 as the first 3D Castlevania game.
Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for additional Castlevania content.
Hello, this is your acting host, Joshua Graham, filling in for Alucard, and here are 3 Castlevania facts you probably didn't know. While Alucard is primarily portrayed as having long white hair or blonde hair in most games he appears in, his original appearance in Castlevania 3 actually resembled Count Dracula, as portrayed by Bela Lugosi in the 1931 Dracula film. While Castlevania Legacy of Darkness was sold as a separate game from Castlevania 64, it is actually a more complete version of Castlevania 64, with some added characters and story, making it an early Game of the Year gimmick. Simon Belmont is the most common leading protagonist of the Castlevania games, being the lead character in 5 Castlevania games. Simon also appears in Super Smash Bros. Judgment and Grimoire of Souls as a supporting or optional playable character. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is your acting host, Joshua Graham, filling in for Alucard, and here are 3 Castlevania facts you probably didn't know. In spite of the moniker, Metroidvania used to describe the Castlevania games, beginning with Symphony of the Night with RPG mechanics. Konami's producer after Symphony of the Night, Koji Igarashi, stated in interviews that he actually took inspiration from Legend of Zelda games in terms of the new mechanic. In the Castlevania Lords of Shadow games, Count Dracula, or Gabriel Belmont, is voiced by Robert Carlyle, also known for his portrayal of the James Bond villain Renard, as well as Rumpelstiltskin in the fantasy TV series Once Upon a Time. Nocturne of Recollection is the epilogue of Symphony of the Night and features Richter, Maria, and Alucard. Will the son of Dracula return in the new Netflix series? The series is called Nocturne, after all. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is your acting host, Joshua Graham, filling in for Alucard, and here are 3 Castlevania facts you probably didn't know. In spite of the moniker, Metroidvania used to describe the Castlevania games, beginning with Symphony of the Night with RPG mechanics. Konami's producer after Symphony of the Night, Koji Igarashi, stated in interviews that he actually took inspiration from Legend of Zelda games in terms of the new mechanic. In the Castlevania Lords of Shadow games, Count Dracula, or Gabriel Belmont, is voiced by Robert Carlyle, also known for his portrayal of the James Bond villain Renard, as well as Rumpelstiltskin in the fantasy TV series Once Upon a Time. Nocturne of Recollection is the epilogue of Symphony of the Night and features Richter, Maria, and Alucard. Will the son of Dracula return in the new Netflix series? The series is called Nocturne, after all. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is your acting host, Joshua Graham, filling in for Alucard, and here are 3 Castlevania facts you probably didn't know. Shin Ichiro Miki, the voice actor for Richter Belmont in the radio drama Nocturne of Recollection, also voiced Alucard in the Japanese dub of the Netflix animated series. Alucard is a father in 3 alternate Castlevania continuities. First, he has a daughter named Layla in the Castlevania Choose Your Own Adventure book, known as Legend of Satanic Castle. Second, the father of Trevor Belmont in Castlevania Legends. Third, he is the father of Simon Belmont in Castlevania Lords of Shadow. In the Castlevania games, Sonia Belmont and Maria Renard have an appearance based off the animated film design of Doris Lang, a supporting character in the 1985 film Vampire Hunter D. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more.
Hello everyone, this is Alucard back from my brief vacation, and here are 3 Castlevania facts you probably didn't know. Alucard has an unexplained absence from the war on Dracula in the first half of the 19th century. While the century without the Belmonts has been explained from the events in Symphony of the Night, there has not been an explanation for the absence of the son of Dracula. Reinhard Schneider, the main protagonist of Castlevania 64, is actually a direct descendant of Richter Belmont. Richter Belmont had a daughter, whose name is unknown, but her son, Michael Schneider, taught his son Reinhard to carry on the Belmont tradition. For reasons unexplained, Eric Lecard's official artwork in Castlevania, Portrait of Ruin, shows a mourning Alucard in the background. The reason remains unknown, although the spear used by Eric Lecard originally was Alucard's spear. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is Alucard, and pertaining to Castlevania, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. In the Castlevania games, there is a trick wherein if a character's weapon is used and the button remains held without releasing, the character will block attacks using the weapon. Experiment in the games to see if this trick works. While an early title for the Game Boy Advance, Castlevania Circle of the Moon, was considered a standalone alternate universe game with the conflicting information on Nathan Graves having the vampire killer whip, when canonically, the Morris family carried the relic as designated by Richter Belmont. The main events of Bram Stoker's Dracula novel are considered canonical to the Castlevania timeline, with Quincy Morris being the heir of the Belmont tradition present with Jonathan Harker and Abraham Van Helsing in destroying Dracula in London in 1897. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more.
Hello, I'm Maria, and here are 3 facts from Castlevania that you probably didn't know. While there were awful witch hunts in the history of Castlevania, along with witches often being hostile monsters in-game, there are also numerous witches who are in fact playable protagonists in the games. These include Sypha Belnades, Lucy West, Shanoa, Charlotte Olin, Julia Laforez, Carrie Fernandez, and myself. In Castlevania, Dracula is not of the Basarab family like his real historical counterpart, Vladimir Tepes. In Castlevania, he was originally a French knight in the Crusades known as Matthias Kronkvist. In the original Castlevania 3, the exiled Wallachian prince known as Grant Dynasty was an unlockable companion to the player. He was inspired by the historical Dynasty family which rivaled the House of Dracula, or House of the Dragon. So here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, I'm Maria, and here are 3 facts from Castlevania that you probably didn't know. The original concept of Symphony of the Night was actually a game for the Sega 32X known as Castlevania, the Bloodletting, set to feature Richter Belmont, Maria Renard, and the mysterious rival, a rogue hunter turned to helping Dracula. Alucard's origin was retconned and reworked in Symphony of the Night, from his origin in Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Instead of being born a human and converted into a vampire by his father, after Symphony, Alucard was born as a human-vampire hybrid instead. While the origins of the Alucards remain a mystery, Eric Alucard's twin daughters Stella and Loretta remain unusual in being cured of the vampiric curse and return to normal human status, as the best and canonical ending of Portrait of Ruin. So here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, I'm Maria, and here are 3 facts from Castlevania that you probably didn't know. Victor Belmont, a character in Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, was originally designed to be included in an earlier cancelled game known as Castlevania Resurrection for the Sega Dreamcast. Just like in canon, Sypha was the wife of Trevor Belmont, however. The Lords of Shadow Sypha Belmont, with the maiden name Belnades, had no demonstrated spellcasting in the Lords of Shadow universe. Maria Renard was shown briefly in the teaser trailer for Castlevania Nocturne. She is shown summoning a sacred beast in another time with her eyes closed. Her design in the trailer largely follows the design of the character in Dracula X Chronicles for the Sony PSP. So here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, I'm Maria, and here are 3 facts from Castlevania that you probably didn't know. Just as in the 1992 film Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, Dracula in the Castlevania series originally had a wife named Elizabetha, back when he was known as Matthias Kronkvist. She died like her film counterpart, and afterwards in grief and spite, Matthias, like Vladimir in the film, rebelled against God and became the monster, Count Dracula. In the Castlevania canon, Alucard has no siblings, but he does have a cousin named Elizabeth Bartley, not to be confused with Carmilla, who is responsible for the plot of Castlevania Bloodlines, and also is set to appear in the upcoming Netflix series, Castlevania Nocturne. Elizabeth Bathory, the character who appeared in Castlevania Bloodlines, will be appearing in Castlevania Nocturne, voiced by Franca Potente. So here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more.
Hello, this is Alucard, and pertaining to Castlevania, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. Numerous art designs in the Castlevania series are the work of artist Ayami Kojima, not to be confused with Konami's long-standing producer and creator of Metal Gear, Hideo Kojima. The Mummy is a recurring boss in the Castlevania game series, but so far he only appears in the side-scrolling Castlevania games. Little is known, other than he is most likely based on the 1932 film monster known as Imhotep, portrayed by Boris Karloff. In the first Lords of Shadow game, the plot revolves around the protagonist, Gabriel Belmont, destroying the Lords of Shadow, each lord representing negative elements of the human condition, similar in many ways to the 1996 game Blood Omen, where a noble-turned-vampire named Cain seeks a similar objective. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is Alucard, and pertaining to Castlevania, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. In Castlevania Symphony of the Night, when the dying succubus asks Alucard if he is Dracula's child, this is a reference to the novels, comics, and animated films of Vampire Hunter D, in which the titular protagonist's enemies ask him if he is the son of Dracula before they die. In Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, and in Vampire Hunter, D Bloodlust, a female adversary taunts and attempts to lure the protagonist to his doom by impersonating his dead human mother. Regarding the character of Maria Renard, her young version is inspired by the girl named Maria, whom Frankenstein's monster throws into the lake out of curiosity in the 1931 film. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is Alucard, and pertaining to Castlevania, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. Olrox will be appearing in Castlevania Nocturne. However, his original inspiration was that of Count Orlok from the old horror film Nosferatu. The mature Maria Renard from Castlevania Symphony of the Night was modeled after Doris Lang, a supporting character in the 1985 animated film Vampire Hunter D. In Castlevania, Curse of Darkness, the voice of the main protagonist, Hector, is by actor Crispin McDougal Freeman, who also voiced Matthias in Lament of Innocence, as well as Alucard in the anime, Hellsing. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is Alucard, and pertaining to Castlevania, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. In Castlevania lore, the arch-villain known as Chaos has 3 cursed enchanted stones, ebony, crimson, and an unknown orange gemstone. The ebony and crimson stones were featured in the plot of Lament of Innocence. In Castlevania, Curse of Darkness, Isaac Laferez is voiced by Liam O'Brien, who also provided the voice of the DC Comics supervillain, the Joker, on the television series known as Young Justice, prior to the series being later renewed on streaming services. In French, Belmont is the word for beautiful mountain, a brief bit of name etymology behind the family who battles Dracula. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is Alucard, and pertaining to Castlevania, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. In Metal Gear Solid, on the PS1 version, if you have saved game files for Castlevania Symphony of the Night on your PlayStation memory card, or even the virtual memory card of your PlayStation emulator, the enemy known as Psycho Mantis will reveal that you have been playing Castlevania in a 4th wall break. In Castlevania 64, one of the most complained about sections of the game was the part in which the character must run through the castle with a bottle of nitroglycerin. Just like real-life nitroglycerin explodes from vibrations, so does the nitro in the game, making the part very difficult. In the game Fallout New Vegas, there is an achievement known as "The Same Could Be Said of All Religious Weapons," which is a reference to Dracula telling Richter Belmont, "The same could be said of all religions," in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more. Hello, this is Alucard, and pertaining to Castlevania, here are 3 facts you probably didn't know. In Castlevania, Curse of Darkness, Isaac Laferez has a favorite summoned innocent devil named Abel. This is a mythological reference to the brothers of Cain and Abel. In the Netflix adaptation of Castlevania, the reimagined Isaac also has the summoned demon named Abel as an homage to the original character. There is a fan theory that Alucard's mother Lisa might be a kind of reincarnation of Elizabetha Kronkvist. First, Lisa has an uncanny resemblance to her, and second, Lisa is Elizabetha with letters removed. Here are 3 facts. Follow the channel for more.